What's going on, guys? Welcome back to No Reserves Radio. I am still sick. How's it going, Alex?
Yeah, how's it going, guys? How's it going, Angelo? Another
Pretty bad.
season, another week of football, almost done.
Yeah, yeah, we're getting
What?
closer and closer to the playoffs. A lot of there was like
What do
no
you,
offense this week. It feels like.
yeah. What do you have though? Is it just like a regular cold?
I think I have COVID. I don't know.
Uh, okay.
My girlfriend had it. She got tested. She's positive. I'm not testing. All I know is Thursday when I recorded the basketball episode, my voice started to sound funky. And then Friday and Saturday, I was just out. Like you couldn't get to me. I must have slept at least like 16 of the 24 hours Friday. Like it was bad.
Yeah.
I still sound
I
bad, so I think it was just the football gods telling me it's not your week, buddy. So
yeah. I had that as well, I believe, a few weeks ago. Uh, hopefully get better.
I'll be fine. I feel a lot better now than I did Thursday for sure. Friday.
Especially now that you get to watch your maybe playoff bound Cincinnati Bengals.
If Jake Browning keeps playing like this, yeah, we're a playoff team. Even ignoring
Yeah.
Jake Browning, I think we have a better roster than like any of the playoff teams. So
And your schedule is not like super hard.
I
I
don't know.
believe
We're
next,
gonna get sacrificed to Kansas City week 16. So
yeah, you play the Vikings week 15. It's in Cincinnati. Then you go at Pittsburgh week 16. Then week 17, you go at KC.
yeah,
And finally, who do you get? Last game of the season, you get the Browns. It's at Cincinnati. So 2-2 should be feasible. 2-2 gets you
there's
what?
a
Gets
good chance
mm,
that that game against the Brown is gonna be for like a playoff spot.
could be. Although the
Unfortunately,
Browns, although the
unfortunately,
Browns,
dash fortunately, the Browns are usually Joe Burrow's kryptonite. Good news, Joe Burrow isn't under center, so who knows.
maybe no
So
one is Jake Browning's kryptonite,
yeah, maybe no one is Jake Browning's. Who knows? I don't
and
know.
then you keep him next year, and whenever you play the Browns, you just play Jake Browning instead of Burrow.
Stop it. Stop
There
it.
you go.
You're getting ridiculous now. I did not expect 60 points in 2 weeks, though. I will say that. So,
He is playing well, indeed. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's look at some other games that we can talk about. And I want to start with KC and the Bills.
give me a breakdown. I just saw Patrick Mahomes freak out. That's the
Oh,
amount I watched.
you didn't see the play?
I didn't see the play, no.
Why he freaked out? Okay, so it was a pretty sick play. Like pass to Travis Kelsey for a big gain. Travis is about to be tackled, and he laterals it like through QB pass just behind him to Kadarius Toney, who grabs it and just scores the touchdown. But it
Hmm.
gets called back due to an offside on offense. So those are pretty rare. And it was Kadarius Toney was lining up offsides. Like there's a picture right now which clearly shows that he was offside. Like dude is damn near in line with the defensive lineman or the linebacker, which was Von Miller. He's
Hmm.
like directly on line with the guy. And then when that gets called back, there's like the Chiefs aren't happy, and then they turn it over on fourth down. And yeah, Mahomes gets super pissed off at the refs, like saying that it basically they get talked about every single week and that shouldn't happen and all of that thing, claiming that Tony wasn't offsides and that they should have gotten like a warning because the officials usually are warn the player when he's offsides, the wide receiver. but that usually is the wide receiver asking for the okay. That happened a few weeks ago with Diggs. Asking for the okay from the official to know that he was lining up properly. Yeah, it's a weird sequence of events. Josh Allen, when that when that went for a touchdown, looked about done, like he was in disbelief, like not again. But yeah, that gets called back, and the Bills win. Bills are now 7-6, and with Indianapolis losing, with the Texans losing, with Pittsburgh losing, it opens up. Now the 7 and 6 seed are all tied. Like there's one, two, three, four, five, six teams tied at 7 and 6.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
If
there's
the
Buffalo. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
if the season ended today, who would all be in the playoffs?
It would be the Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers, plus Cleveland, who's at fifth seed, and then first seed is Miami, second seed is Baltimore, third seed is KC, fourth seed is Jacksonville.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's 7 and 6 teams. There's Buffalo, there's Pittsburgh, there's Cincinnati, there's Denver, there's Indianapolis, and there's Houston.
Oh, the Chargers are just out. Let's just can we acknowledge that?
Oh yeah, the Chargers are out.
They-
It's over. Yeah,
it's over for them. Just
it's
Justin Herbert, if I'm not mistaken, has a he has an injury on one of his fingers. I believe he's not
it's
going to play Thursday. If I'm
yes.
not mistaken,
Yes, that piece of news came out a bit ago. Yeah, he has a fractured index finger, if I'm not
fractured
mistaken.
industry. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's on his throwing hand. I assume so. But yeah, like I wouldn't be shocked if his season is over. Just there's no point. They're 5-8. I don't think 8 wins makes it in. So yeah, I think this season should be over unless just Staley just wants to try and scapegoat this, just say that it's Herbert's fault, which kind of is on brand for Staley. But yeah, I wouldn't expect him to see him out there. And this means that Thursday Night Football, we have Aiden O'Connell versus Easton Stick. Gotta love the NFL, baby. Which game did you see the most? Oh, it was
Oh,
Cleveland, wasn't it?
Browns, Jaguars. Yeah,
Yeah. What did you think of it? How did Trevor Lawrence look? I thought he looked
hurt.
pretty rough. Yeah.
He looked hurt. Like he looked bad.
Yeah. That
There
was
was
my impression
definitely
as
some
well.
miscommunications between him and his wide receivers. On the pick, I said that Jaguars DB was wide open. Apparently,
Yeah.
I believe it was Calvin Ridley was supposed to cut it up and be make it more of a skinny post, and he just like cut it in. And I don't know. There was a few bad throws. The Browns defense is nothing to shake at. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I picked Myles Garrett to be the defensive player of the year. I think that's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
So,
I do think that the odds on favorite right now is Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, either
But
can
yeah,
happen.
like
They're both
Miles
dominant.
Miles is second, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken. So pretty close. But yeah, I saw one of the picks. I saw all of them, but the one that stood out to me was one on the sidelines, which he threw it to one of his wide receivers, who I can't remember who it was, but he threw it. He just put way too much zip on it, so it ended up being that the Browns DB was was looking like the guy who he was targeting down the sideline, and guy just made a pretty good play. So pretty good deep shot. Just unfortunately to the DB.
Yeah. The Flacco one, I think. The Flacco one where
Oh,
there
the
was like
Flacco one was.
the three Jaguars in that vicinity. Because I'm pretty sure what was happening was it was supposed to be an in route for Tillman, if I'm not mistaken, and they just bumped Tillman and he just threw it right to one of those DBs. I was just like, yeah. That was
Yeah,
great, honestly.
that one was on brand, I guess.
It was a tough game to watch, honestly. The fumble, the Amari Cooper fumble. Oh man, that was rough.
Which
Like,
is sort of weird to say about a 58-point game.
yeah.
In which both QBs, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they each threw for 3 touchdowns. Each had over 250 yards passing.
Joe Flacco, like, I don't know. Joe Flacco looked rough and he looked good at, I don't know. It's kind of weird to describe.
Joe Flacco probably looked like someone who hasn't played a whole lot of football, but who is a
There were,
veteran at the game in the end.
yeah, there was a few throws where he got bailed out by Jerome Ford and one where he got bailed out by the Browns targets.
Yeah, that was a pretty like solid game in terms of scoring. At least kept you entertained. Unlike the masterpiece that was the Minnesota Vikings and the Las Vegas Raiders, huh?
I what happened? I didn't want to turn to it.
It's just bad play all around, man. Like Joshua Dobbs got benched. That's when the Vikings offense got moving. I believe he played the full 3 quarters, if I'm not mistaken. And then Mullins came in for the last quarter. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, Dobbs in 3 quarters of football at 63 yards passing.
What happened to Justin Jefferson? I didn't think he didn't make it past like the first, did he?
No, he took a big shot on his back.
Hmm.
Like it was a pretty pretty suicidal ball that was thrown there by Joshua Dobbs.
Hmm.
Uh, Jefferson went up to make the catch, and behind him was one of the Raiders DB, number 7, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if it's Hobbs or if it's someone else, but laid a pretty big hit on him on his back, and as soon as he went down, he immediately reached for it, like looked like a guy who hadn't take a hit like that for like half a season. So
Yeah.
yeah, then he went to the sideline. I thought he would be fine. It was just like more of a precaution thing, but apparently not. And they called it a chest injury in the end, and he went to the local hospital. But yeah, I haven't heard anything else from him. I know he was with the team at the end of the game, so he got cleared from the hospital right around the end of the game, probably.
He
I'm
might as
not
well
sure.
call it season two.
Yeah, I mean they're still in the hunt. It's like they won in the end. They are a playoff team. They're the sixth seed. So, but yeah, a
They could have
3-0
scored
game.
first.
A 3-0 game wasn't in my books. If it had ended 0-0, last time a game ended 0-0 was in the 1940s.
It was a bad game.
It was a bad game. The Raiders offense didn't do much either. I mean, O'Connell had a slightly better day with 170 yards passing, but still, it's just it was a pretty weird game, I gotta say. At one point, I was just sort of expecting that the game would end 0-0, just for the novelty of it.
Hmm.
But yeah, the 3 points messed it up. Yeah, I found it here. So, few interesting stats about the game. It was the NFL's second 3-0 final score in the last 30 seasons.
Pittsburgh
So,
was the other one.
yeah, Pittsburgh, Miami in 2007.
Yep.
And it was the third 3-0 final score in the last 40 years. The seventh in the Super Bowl era, and the eighth since 1950. This is by Ian Rappaport on Twitter. So, a pretty historic game for a game that ended 3-0. Looked like I was watching soccer there for a bit, gotta say.
In America, we call that a baseball game, but yeah, I can see it. Soccer.
uh, Another game that was pretty interesting to me. So, Zach Wilson played okay. Too good, dare I say.
Yeah, I mean he had a good game.
300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Got sacked 4 times, QB rating of 117.8.9. And CJ Stroud, 91 yards, got injured in the game, pretty bad concussion. I would be surprised if he plays this week. Not the best of surfaces to take that hit because it was pretty damp in the field, so it looked like his head really took a big bounce.
Hmm.
But yeah, like the Jets just shut him down. 91 yards passing, 4 yards per attempt.
Yeah, that's pretty rough actually.
Then
That's
Mills
sad.
comes in and has like 4 yards passing on 5 attempts. And they just sort of give up. I mean, they lost by like 24. So
Yeah, that's the worst the Texans have looked probably. No, not
yeah,
probably. It is the worst the Texans have looked in the last 10 weeks or so. So
yeah, for sure.
you never want your quarterback knocked out, and I
Do
mean,
you?
good.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Like all of the Houston targets were knocked out of the game before the game even started. He was just throwing to Noah Brown and Nico Collins, and honestly, Nico Collins was hurt within the first like quarter, so
Yeah,
it was
Nico got
just
hurt.
Noah Brown out there.
I mean, do you think this puts any sort of damp on Stroud's offensive rookie of the year?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. I don't think so as well. I mean, right now I think it would have to come out something like regarding his character, probably, for him not to win.
Who would beat him? It would be Bijan. That's about
Uh,
it.
yeah, I guess Bijan. Shan, probably. Like
No,
if
I
if
don't
he
think.
goes on another tear,
Yeah.
he would have to go on another tear, yeah. But those are the only two, I guess. And as I said, I think there would need to come out something about like his character for it to be a thing.
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
he's got it pretty locked up. Even if he, then granted, it's a concussion, so I'm sure he'll play again. But even if he doesn't play another game, I think he's got it pretty locked up.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, the Patriots game. Remember when we were all sitting here saying that 30 points were way too many and that
Yep.
this game would have ended like, I don't know, without a touchdown or something?
Yep.
Well, the Patriots rallied back and the Patriots win 21-18 in Foxborough.
21 points is a lot of points for the Patriots. So
21 points might be close to their record this year, if it's not their record.
then what's the prop? Bailey Zappi. Are you finally ready to give Bailey Zappi some flowers, man?
um, no.
No.
No, like he had a few good plays, but most of his stuff were still short. So it's kind of like he had a few good passes deep that got a touchdown. I remember one to Hunter Henry. I didn't watch the game live. Neither did I watch the game in 40 for this one. So what I saw were mostly clips of it and just what I researched on the game. And it was mostly short stuff. There were a few deep passes. One of them was to Hunter Henry. From what I saw from that game, a lot of stuff, a lot of short stuff to Zeke. Zeke had like I believe over 70. Yeah, 72 yards receiving. Most of them were just the short dump offs to Zeke, and Zeke made something happen.
Hmm.
Some okay passes to Juju. I
Okay.
mean, it was sort of like an okay game, but it's nothing. Like the dude still only had 200 yards passing, 240 yards passing, and I think they get absolutely destroyed the next few weeks. It just seemed like one of those games that Bill had to win. Like it's versus the Steelers, it's versus Mike Tomlin. It's just that rivalry, and he just wanted to get that win. Team rallied, he won. I don't think this changes anything regarding the Patriots or Bailey Zappi. I still think both the team and the QB are pretty terrible, and they just happened to face Mitch Trubisky.
They just happened to face Mr.
I mean, no better way to say it.
I mean, they still got to 21.
Yeah, great.
Sorry.
So did what? So did what? Half of the teams that more than half of the teams that played on Sunday.
I guess that's true. So, what do you think the Patriots look like the rest of the season? Like, I think even if the Patriots don't score another point the rest of the year and lose every game, that Bill Belichick won't be fired until the season is concluded.
Oh, I don't think so as well. I just think he gets let go. Although I did see a report, and you might be right because you have been beating the drum on this, but I did see a report that some sources inside the league believe that he can net the Patriots a first round pick.
Told you.
I think that's asinine.
Told you. I told you. I'm telling you, you don't give something away for free when you can get something for it. I'm telling you.
I agree with that. I just didn't think that they would get anything for him, and now apparently they
Have
might.
you watched the Chargers?
Yes, and I've watched their ownership being pretty cheap when it comes to giving up any sort of capital or any sort of money to those personalities. So I'm not even 100% sure Staley gets fired due to that cheap and that like
He
cheap
has to.
ways.
He
I would
has
think
to.
so as well. Like he's terrible. Like his defense was, I mean, just now versus the Broncos, just another display of great defense by Brandon Staley. But I've heard plenty of reports that that might not be the case. I'm just saying, I'm not discounting that from being a possibility.
Okay. Hey, I'm just
Pretty
saying.
terrible.
Huh?
Pretty terrible coaching, and somehow he might keep his job. Seems like what happened last year.
I don't think that's. I don't think it's possible. I just don't. He has to get fired. He has to. There's no way.
Talking about people who might lose their job, are you back in that Justin Fields will be the QB of the Bears for the future?
No, but I will say over the last few weeks, Justin Fields has looked really good.
That was the first thing I was told when he got that win, was that maybe Fields will be back in Chicago. You know what my answer was?
I don't see how, but
My answer
he's trying.
was that's a pretty nice way of ruining a franchise.
I mean,
Imagine
it's the
having
Bears.
the first overall pick in a draft with a guy that has been touted as the best prospect for the last, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years. I've been hearing his name, Caleb Williams, the last 2, 3 years at least. And now that you have the chance to pick that at 101, reset the rookie deal, you have 5 years under team management, under team control, and you look at Justin Fields, who in his 3 years as a starting QB in the NFL hasn't been able to string 3 straight games of 200 plus yards passing. And you look at those two scenarios and you think that Justin Fields is the answer. I mean, I'm sorry, but you should probably sell the team or something. There's absolutely no way that he stays a Chicago Bear.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
It's like, sure, he makes a few good throws. He sort of always has made those throws because that's one of his strengths. That he has a pretty solid arm, and it was a pretty nice throw to DJ Moore for the touchdown.
Hmm.
But I mean, after that, like the drive after, he misses a 2 yard like dump off to Cole Kmet. He overthrows him. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, you cannot win and be a competitive team with a guy like that at the wheel. It's like, sure, he'll get you a few passes and he will look good in those passes, but he's not consistent enough. And he still misses open reads. He still can't really go through coverage most of the time, through his progressions most of the time. He still gets sacked like crazy. He still has a pretty big. I mean, just this game, 3 sacks again. He still fumbles quite a bit. I just don't see it, but people are starting to buy in again. So props to them, I guess. If you like Justin Fields, celebrate while you can.
Celebrate while you can.
I've now
Season's
even
gonna be over soon.
I now even started listening to some. If the Bears win out, watch out. Maybe they have a chance at the playoffs. And I'm just like,
Would they make the playoffs if they went out?
depends on the rest. They don't depend on themselves, but they would have somewhat of a shot because they would beat the Packers for that to happen. Week 18, it's the Packers, and it's one of their direct rivals.
Hmm.
Minnesota is shaky. It's like the bottom of the NFC is sort of iffy. It's Minnesota, it's Green Bay, it is the Rams, the Seahawks. Then I guess you can put one of the teams that doesn't win the NFC South. So Atlanta, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, one of those teams. So they would
Gross.
be in that mix. Yeah, it's a bit of bit of a gross bundle of teams, but I mean they certainly would have some sort of a shot. I don't think that happens because they play the Browns this week, and I expect Justin Fields to be absolutely destroyed. But if they do win somehow this week, they face the Cardinals week 16, the Falcons week 17, and the Packers week 18.
I
But
mean, Packers have been playing better, but those are some pretty winnable games.
I I just think it's way too inconsistent for that. I would
We'll
give
see.
props to Eberflus because since he took over the play calling on the defense has looked pretty stout, especially the run defense.
How much better? Like, do you got the numbers?
I don't have the numbers. I just seen that in pretty much everywhere, and I did check it, but I don't have it here. But they have improved quite a bit. And you can see, I mean, just last week it was the Vikings, I believe. They allowed 10 points. This week they allowed 13 to the Detroit Lions. They are getting sacks now. Montez Sweat, I believe he has 3.5 sacks in the 5 games that he has played with Chicago, which was a big issue for them that they weren't getting the pressure on the QB. the opposing QB. So I don't buy it though. I don't think they make the playoffs. I don't think they win out, and I don't think Justin Fields is the future for any franchise. Do you think he gets a starting gig next year?
I was actually thinking about, man, my voice sucks. I was actually thinking about a few things. So, like, there's a lot of really like mid quarterbacks that could get paid and could get opportunity, but I don't know if there's the teams like available to give those quarterbacks the opportunity, if that makes sense. So like think of all the quarterbacks that could or should, depending on who you are, get a shot. Jake Browning, Mac Jones, Justin Fields. You would have said Dobbs depending on the year, but I think that's slowly going out the wayside. So, how many teams, and then think about how many quarterbacks are in this draft. You know, whether it's Williams, whether it's May, and there's more that I'm sure I'm missing and I'm not saying. So, how many teams really need a quarterback now?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, if we look at the teams,
The
so
Bears
Miami
do.
has, yeah, the Bears do. But I'm just looking at it in order. But Miami have their QB, Buffalo have their QB, the
Yep.
Jets, I guess they have their
Need one.
QB,
Oh,
but
Aaron
they have
Rodgers. Never mind.
Rodgers.
Never
Yeah,
mind. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I forgot
yeah.
about him.
New England should be in position to draft one of the top five guys.
Hmm.
Baltimore has their QB. Cleveland should have their QB.
I think Cleveland could use a QB, but with how much they paid him, they can't.
Yeah.
They have their QB.
Cincinnati has their QB. Pittsburgh, I'm not sure if it is too soon to give up on Kenny Pickett.
Yep. And if you
Uh,
say Pittsburgh needs a QB, you add Kenny Pickett to the list of quarterbacks that could get a
Available.
shot on another team.
Yeah. So evens out. KC has their QB. Denver, I guess, has their QB. The Chargers have their QB. The Raiders probably don't have their QB, but will probably
No,
be in a slot to draft one, unless O'Connell balls out. And if O'Connell balls
no way,
out,
no way,
yeah, but
no
if he
way,
balls out, let's say he does, because I think realistically
no,
that's the only way
no,
that they are
no.
not.
Don't do this.
No,
Don't do
I'm just
that.
saying. I'm just saying. They will be in a position to draft a QB.
Hmm.
And if they are not, the only reason why they are not is because O'Connell played pretty well. So if they're not, and O'Connell played well, do you think that's his job to keep?
No,
Because I don't
I
see another way as to how the Raiders
no,
won't
no.
have like a top seven,
Listen,
eight pick.
listen. Even if they don't, the Raiders will have a new head coach in the building who did not draft Aiden O'Connell. No, no, it's not happening. It's not happening.
Are
Just
we positive it's not Pierce who's the future head coach of the team?
we're not positive, but we'll see.
Okay. Jacksonville has their QB. The Colts have their QB.
They do.
Houston, they do. Houston have their QB. Tennessee maybe don't have their QB. Like Will Levis outside of that first game has been pretty mediocre.
He's been the best. Listen, he's been the best Tennessee quarterback. It just depends on where Tennessee's picking, honestly.
I mean, if he keeps playing like this, then they will pick pretty high.
Yeah.
If they do lose today, as I believe they will, aren't they like a top five pick? Or a top
Maybe.
seven
Yeah.
pick? Pretty sure they are. But yeah. So if Levis isn't their QB, then they are probably in the race to take one. Then
The
Dallas has their
problem
QB.
is The
Okay.
problem is Tennessee has one of them former Bill Belichick coaches, and what I'm starting to learn is that the former Bill Belichick coaches need the quarterback already there. They don't develop the quarterback.
Hmm.
Can
I'm
you
not
name one?
sure though.
No, you're
I
not
mean,
sure. What do you mean you're not sure? Can you name one quarterback a Bill Belichick tree coach has developed?
I'm not gonna say that Vrabel developed Ryan Tannehill because that's not true.
Exactly.
But did it make the most out of the skill set that Ryan Tannehill had? Out of any of the head coaches that Ryan Tannehill had, I guess that's fair to say. I guess he got more out of Ryan Tannehill than Adam Gase
True. But
because Tannehill looked about done
let's
after
be
that
honest.
Miami stint.
Tannehill's skill set is closer to Brady. So the New England schemes generally probably worked out better, and it also helped that they had AJ Brown in that building too while he was going off.
Hmm.
True.
That is true, yeah. But they have Hopkins, and Hopkins has at least played somewhat good.
Yeah. So no, no, that's
Okay.
I get it's a narrative, and anything could happen, but I don't know, I just haven't seen people in that New England system develop because it's kind of like a dink and dunk system. So
Sure. But I mean,
I
if there's one coach out of that three that has at least made a name for himself, it's
it
Vrabel.
is variable. Yeah, it is variable. You're right.
So Dallas has their QB, Philadelphia has their
I,
QB, Washington, I would argue, has their QB.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
So New York, I guess it's the same situation as, not even the same situation as Las Vegas, but it's closer to like the New England, in which they probably will have a top five pick, top seven pick to get one guy, and they still have Jones laying around. So I don't really think they trade for Justin Fields.
Who?
The Giants.
Oh, the Giants. Oh, that they paid. They paid. I don't think they can get out of Daniel Jones, at least until after next season. I think it is.
I do think they drafted QB.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Jones was pretty brutal, and apparently there were plenty of rumors that Jones was was a ownership call, not exactly a front office or head coach call.
Interesting.
So they can't get out of Jones' deal after next year. So
Yep.
wouldn't shock me if they use the injury as an excuse to get a young guy in, and then
Mm-hmm.
just kick Jones out
Bench
to
him.
the curb. Then San Francisco has their QB. The Rams probably have their QB. Arizona, if they don't have their QB and Kyler, which I guess they might have, then they draft a guy because they are 3-10. Then Seattle. Seattle is interesting,
Seattle should not have their quarterback, but they seem like they do.
but they are also not the type of team that would trade for Justin Fields because I don't believe that. I mean, this could definitely come back to bite me in the ass. And as a Seahawks fan, if we do get Justin Fields, I'm gonna have a problem. Um, but
That's good. That would be funny. I'm not gonna
that
lie.
would be funny, and I guess you can sort of see it as well. Like Pete working with those sort of like development project QBs who were rejected somewhere else, like Geno Smith, and developing the likes of Russ. Could he be the guy who develops Fields as well? I pray that that doesn't happen, but weirder things have happened because we won't, at least I think we won't be in the position to draft one of those top guys. And I mean, I guess you sort of have to give, even if they do trade for Fields, I don't think they they start him over Gino. And as I've said plenty of times, I think that Carroll does like Drew Lock quite a bit and wants him to be a thing. So I'm gonna say we're out on Justin Fields. Then it's Detroit, who have their QB, I guess. Then it's Minnesota, which I'm not sure, to be honest. They currently don't have a QB on their roster next year, if I'm not mistaken, because Cousins is a free agent. Oh, there's also Cousins in the market that we sort of just forget. But any competing team probably goes for Cousins. But yeah, then it's like outside of Seattle, I guess it's just Minnesota. I guess you can make a case that Minnesota doesn't have their future QB. As I said, I think they don't have a starting QB. I don't think they have a QB on the roster next year. But Cousins is still available, and we are forgetting Cousins, as I mentioned. Green Bay has their future QB. And then it's the NFC South. Like any of the guys in the NFC South outside of Carolina, you can probably make a case. I've heard plenty of Fields to Atlanta makes them immediately better. Do you think that's the case?
I think anything makes Atlanta better.
Even Fields.
Yes.
Hmm.
Like
And that's
ignoring this last game because it's probably the best that the Atlanta offense has looked. They've looked atrocious, dude. The whole year.
yeah. Yet they're still 6-7 and in the race for the NFC South.
That's just because the South is atrocious this
Yeah,
year.
that is true. That is true. Your guy, Derek Carr, isn't doing too well there.
He is not. He's not.
Is like is Baker Mayfield the best QB in that division
Probably.
by like a country mile?
He's playing. He's playing like it. Yeah.
Yeah, and they are currently leading the division at 6-7. But yeah, I have a hard time seeing one of those teams going for Fields. I guess the one that makes the most sense is the NFC South team. But even then, like at that point, I, I'm not sure, man. I think there's better QBs to go for.
I don't. I just think we're in a fairly good spot as far as quarterback play goes, and we're getting another good draft class of quarterbacks. So I don't know. I think there's a lot of journeymen, and I think some of them, like Browning, deserve a shot, but I don't think the opportunities are going to be there.
Yeah, plenty of good QB play across the league, as you can see from the likes of
And
Zach
honestly, I think
Wilson.
Kirk's coming back from for Minnesota.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think he goes back to Minnesota though?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Okay. I have my doubts that he goes back to Minnesota. One thing that I've heard plenty since Sunday, so since yesterday, but is the idea of Kirk Cousins to New England.
That would be a good New England quarterback, honestly.
And they draft Marvin Harrison Jr. at the 102.
That would. Woo!
Because the defense is still playing great. And if there's one thing that Bill for sure, this is assuming Bill stays. But if there's one thing that Bill for sure doesn't know how to pick, is wide receiver. So why not just pick the guy who's the can't miss prospect, right? And this is assuming, and this is something that you brought out the other day, that Marvin Harrison Jr. declares.
Yeah, I was gonna save that for the fantasy show, but
Okay.
I think if Marvin doesn't declare, we're gonna have like daily segments on like ESPN. You're gonna have rant posts on Reddit about how the NIL money is ruining football. I'm telling you.
Have Have you seen what's the reported contract that he got for one season
No, I did not.
of OSU football? Oh, OSU? No, Ohio State football. Oh,
I did
OSU.
not.
Yeah. It's reportedly between 20 to 25 million to come back one more season to Ohio
So,
State.
so why would you go to the NFL?
Yeah. That's more than you can usually get with a rookie contract. I guess he probably would make that across his career since he would probably be a top five pick. But that's, for example, that's more than the career earnings of a guy like Jalen Waddle, and he was a top 10 pick.
Yeah, no. Like, why? Yeah, why would you? Why would you not come back? So we'll see. I get it. It's the NFL. You want to play in the most competitive league in the land, but at the same time, money talks. So, ugh,
Okay, so there is one more game that we should talk about. The
which
rest
is
is sort of like okay.
there's
Um,
a lot of the rest are sort of like okay in this week. But go on, yeah.
but I think we have to talk about Sunday Night Football and the Cowboys beating the Eagles
Yeah, they
33-13.
beat the brakes off the Eagles.
So, well, one, I was right that the Eagles were fraud.
This
Like
guy,
I think that's been established. Two, I was wrong that they thought that I thought that after they took a beating the first time, they would rally up and just throw a beating on the next opponent. No, they got another beating. So now this is back-to-back weeks in which they've been blown out. And this game never really felt particularly close to me. Just felt like the the Eagles really couldn't do anything on offense.
this guy.
And out of the 13 points that they scored, if I'm not mistaken, one of them was the Jalen Carter touchdown. If I'm not mistaken, because I didn't see the full game live. Yeah, I think he blocked something and got the return for the touchdown. So the Eagles' offense scored 6 points. Do you still think they are that good of a team?
No, yeah, no, absolutely.
So I can tell you right now, they took a bit of a dive on my rankings.
Oh, you're just waiting.
I was just waiting, man.
He's just waiting in the wings for a
I
slip up.
think I think they are the fraud that I always said that they were.
This guy.
I think they're just last year's Minnesota Vikings, but a bit better.
This guy.
You
Last
think
year,
they're a top what team? Don't tell me your rankings, but do you think they're a top five team in the league?
I think they're a top three team.
Oh, come on, man.
What?
No. No, 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 no. The Eagles are not a top three team in the league.
Okay.
I do not buy that.
Okay.
Maybe they are a top three team in the NFC. But that's maybe. That's a big maybe. And it's mostly because the Detroit Lions also seem to be frauds. I just can't see it, man. This offense has way too many holes, way too many issues. I'm not even sure if it's just Fields playing hurt because it doesn't even look that hurt to me. Um, it's just the offensive coordinator isn't that good. The offense really isn't gelling. They are having issues with drops. AJ Brown dropped a touchdown, for example, which seems unheard of. But yeah, like this team just doesn't seem like they are it right now. And this is a typical game that the Cowboys would usually lose, and they beat the brakes out of the Eagles. And that continues his pretty impressive run.
He does. He does.
271 yards, two touchdowns, 24 out of 39 passing, 99.4 QB rating.
Yeah, I can't even say anything bad about Dak. Dak looks like he's going to win the MVP if he keeps this up.
He is currently, I checked the odds prior to the game, and I believe he was either second or third on DraftKings. And currently, he is the odds on favorite to win the MVP
Yeah,
at plus
can't even be mad.
160.
Can't even be mad.
Do you know who's the second one? Like the difference is Dak is one plus 160, the second guy is plus 200, and the third guy is plus 550. So pretty big gap here. Do you know who's the second guy?
It's either Tyreek Hill or Brock Purdy.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill is plus 1300. Brock Purdy is plus 200.
Yeah.
Do you think there's any chance that Purdy wins it?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I do not see it. To be frank, I think if anyone wins the MVP on that team, it shouldn't be Purdy
Then who should
because
it
we
be?
did see
CMC?
CMC. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
If there was ever any argument since the AP season that a running back should win it, it's McCaffrey. I think this team would go down the drain without McCaffrey. And they have struggled without some of their pieces. Like we have seen this team struggle whenever they're missing key pieces. Like the tackle. I can never remember the name. All I can remember is Armstead, but it's not Armstead.
Williams.
Williams, Trent
Trent
Williams,
Williams.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen them struggle without Trent. We've seen them struggle without Debo. If they would have lost CMC, I think this team would be even worse than without a guy like Debo, for example. So yeah, I don't think that Purdy should win it. I think Dak is probably in the front seat. I think I would agree. In my opinion, it's still Tyreek Hill's MVP season because I don't think any of the guys have really separated. And I think the only reason Dak is at the odds that he is, it's because of recency bias and because of the star on the helmets. But I mean, what Tyreek Hill is doing is pretty impressive, and I would give him the MVP right now. Like I've checked his yardage line, and his yardage line for this game is like 110 yards, the over under, and the over is like minus 135. So I mean, he's having a killer of a season.
Hmm. Man.
But yeah, the Cowboys rolled. And the
Yeah.
Cowboys are now tied. Oh no, the Cowboys have taken the lead in the NFC East, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
You think
So
they'll
they are now
keep
the.
it?
They have a pretty tough schedule. So next week they go at the Bills. Then they go at Miami. So two pretty tough games. Then they get Detroit. And finally they go at Washington. So three of those four games are pretty hard. While the Eagles they go at Seattle, they get the Giants, they get the Cardinals, and the last one is they go at New York again. So I think the Eagles probably end up winning the division. but they are the first team getting eliminated from the playoffs out of these high seeds. It's the first surprise, I would say, because I think they're massive frauds. I've been saying this for a while now. So if there's anyone that can call it deeps on this downwards trend for the Eagles, it's me. I've always thought they're frauds,
We've always thought they're frauds.
and my rankings this week reflect that.
This guy.
Are there any other games that you want to talk about?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. You are not in you don't have the voice for that right now, I guess.
No, I
As
do
well.
not.
Yeah. Okay, so we jump to power rankings. And I'm gonna go first. And this week I have plenty of changes.
Oh no.
So at 10, I have the Denver Broncos. At 9, I have the Cleveland Browns. At 8, I have the Detroit Lions. At 7, I have the Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh no, you did that.
Yes.
Okay,
At
go on.
6, I have my current dark horse Super Bowl winner. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
At 5, I have the Dallas Cowboys. At 4, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. At 3, I have the Miami Dolphins. At 2, I have the Baltimore Ravens. And at 1, I have the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, Jesus. All right, ready for mine?
Go for it.
At 10, I have the Buffalo Bills. At 9, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. At 8, I have the Detroit Lions.
You just have frauds in here. You just have Jacksonville and the Philadelphias of the world.
At 7, I have the Cleveland Browns. At 6, I have the Miami Dolphins. At
The
5, I have
current
Baltimore
the
Ravens.
current first seed AFC
Yep,
on in the NFC, Miami Dolphins. At 5 you have, I'm sorry.
Ravens.
Okay.
4, I have the Chiefs. 3, I have the Eagles. 2, I have the Cowboys. And 1, I have the 49ers.
So the only team that we have the same is the first one.
Yep,
Oh, and the fourth one. We both have KC at 4.
yep.
But the rest is pretty different.
Mm-hmm.
I made a big shuffle on mine this week, and I think you're way too low on Buffalo.
I don't.
Buffalo right now is where the teams that I think can win a Super Bowl ends. So the top 6 I think can win a Super Bowl. And it's Buffalo that ends it. Philadelphia is out. Because you know what? You know what Philadelphia are? Say it
What?
with me, Angelo.
Oh my
They are
God.
frauds. Frauds. Them and Jacksonville. I'm not sure how you even have Jacksonville. They don't have a functional QB right
He's
now.
hurt. He'll be
Yeah,
fine.
he's hurt. So he shouldn't be here. They
This
shouldn't
guy.
be here. I mean, are they even winning their division at this point?
Yeah, probably.
I don't think so.
They'll be
I don't
fine.
think so.
This guy.
I guess we can go into the picks. So last week, Angelo went 7-5-1, another tie. We managed to pick the Minnesota -3 and Las Vegas +3, so that was a tie. And I went 5-7-1, so that's something that Angelo beat, man. And overall records, I am 89, 114 and 3. Angelo is 106, 97 and 3. So win percentage stay roughly the same. I'm 43%. You are 52%.
That's pretty
And
close. That's pretty close to the goal, the hefty goal I set for myself.
yeah, that's pretty far for me. So
Yeah, it's
at
pretty
least
night and
one of
day for
us.
you.
Yeah, at least one of us is doing well in this. So just
Well,
follow Angelo pick.
it's easy for me to here's what you if you want to be good at predict making predictions, have a friend who is always wrong, like Alex, and just go against him, and you've got this.
Thank you, Angelo. You're
Yeah,
really sweet, man.
yeah,
Appreciate it. I still have a chance to at least go 500 this week
you
because
don't.
we are pending Miami and Green Bay. I have Miami minus 13, Green Bay minus 6.5. You have Tennessee plus 13, and you have Green Bay minus 6.5. The Green Bay game has moved a bit. It's now Green Bay minus 6. And the Tennessee game has moved as well. It's now Miami minus 13.5. When we started the show, it was Miami minus 14. So a bit of a change there as well. And now we go into week 15. And we start with a banger on Thursday Night Football. It is the Los Angeles Chargers at the Las Vegas Raiders. It is Aidan O'Connell and Easton Stick fighting it out in the game that has the lowest over under on the week at 34. And the Raiders are 3-point favorites over the Chargers. And if I didn't have faith in the Chargers with Justin Herbert, you best believe I don't have faith in the Chargers with Easton Stick. So give me the Raiders minus 3.
Oh boy,
Don't you let them do this to you again, Angelo.
give me the Chargers plus 3.
Oh, come on, Angelo. Not again. I think the only week that you got a Chargers game right was when I picked the Chargers.
What are the Chargers against the spread? Hold on.
I
I
can
got
find that.
what are
So ATS records 2023. The Chargers are 5-8, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they're 5-8 ATS. The Raiders are 6-1.
Yeah, anyway, give me the Chargers. It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Okay, all right. Oh man. Oh god. The Minnesota Viking at the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals favored by 4. Just give me the Bengals. I guess we're a playoff team. I guess I guess that's just a thing.
It's just a thing, huh?
It's just a thing.
You'll just be playoff teams.
Yep.
It's the battle of two playoff teams,
Yeah,
and you're
okay.
back on the wagon. And uh honestly, give me the Bengals as well. Cincinnati minus 4. I'm not sure who even starts at QB right now for the Vikings. So
Exactly.
just give me the guy who I'm sure was a pretty good quarterback. You know when? In high school, Angelo.
Oh my god. This guy.
90 plus touchdowns in his last season in high school. And this is the first of the Saturday games. They're back. We will have 3 Saturday games now.
What was this for Christmas? No, this
No,
is the week before Christmas.
it's just like that stretch that NFL usually has in which they
Uh-huh.
have games on Saturday. I believe it's because of the college playoffs ending. So we have NFL on Saturdays now.
Makes sense. All right, you're doing the next one.
Okay, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Indianapolis Colts. Pickett has been ruled out for this game, so it's now Mitchell Trubisky facing Gardner Minshew. The Colts are 2.5 point favorites, and the over/under is 42 on the dot. And just give me the Colts. I just I've seen way too much of Mitch Trubisky to think that the guy has a chance here. And the Colts defense has been playing surprisingly okay the past few weeks. Indianapolis are also pretty good at ATS. They are 8-5 this year. While Pittsburgh has been okay. They are 7-6.
Give me Pittsburgh.
Okay. Round of Pittsburgh coming in for you. Gonna root for Mitch Trubisky. Yikes.
Denver Broncos at Detroit Lions. Detroit favored by 4. Give me Denver. Give me Denver.
It feels like it, isn't it? Like Denver, super hot team, getting +4.
Yeah.
But honestly,
Uh-huh.
give me Detroit on the bounce back spot.
This
It's
guy.
now they played um their last open game, so outside of a dome. So every game that they play now, it's inside of a dome, and golf inside of the dome is usually much better. So give me Detroit with a bounce back spot, having been beat by the Chicago Bears, the awful Chicago Bears.
The awful Chicago Bears.
Next up, it's the Kansas City Chiefs at the New England Patriots. Patrick Mahomes versus Bailey Zappi. I don't think there's any chance that a QB matchup can be less even. So the over/under is 37.5, and the Chiefs are 10-point favorites. Just give me the Chiefs, man. I think this is a complete rout. Wouldn't shock me if this is like 30-0.
Hmm. You know what?
Oh no. Don't do it. Don't take Bailey Zappi, man. What are we doing here? Oh my god. Imagine looking at the Patriots and thinking, yeah, give me Bailey Zappi +10 versus Mahomes, a pissed off Mahomes.
Give me the Patriots.
Oh my god, man. This might be the week in which I have some hope to catch up some games.
If it isn't, then what do you do next week if you don't make any ground?
I keep trying.
I
Again, as
keep
I
check.
said, my one goal this season is to end around 500. So that's the goal.
That's the goal. All right. Atlanta Falcons at Carolina Panthers. Falcons favored by 3. Give me the Panthers.
Oh, buddy. Give me Atlanta -3. There's just no way I
I
take the
I
Panthers.
I think this is the cursed week. This is the cursed week, I'm telling you.
For you or for me?
This is the week all the crap teams win, I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. You
This
know,
is the this is the
At-
cursed week.
Atlanta ATS is 4-9 on the season. You know who's the
Exactly.
worst team ATS?
Who?
The Carolina Panthers with 2-9-2.
Let's go.
Indeed, you've managed to take the two worst teams ATS, with the Patriots being 3-10.
Okay. You got next one, buddy.
Okay, next one for me. The New York Jets at the Miami
Uh
Dolphins.
huh.
Is this the Zach Wilson is back moment I've been craving?
Uh huh.
Or is this Miami rolls like it happened the last time that they played on Thanksgiving? Or the Black Friday game, I guess.
Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh.
Um, Honestly, 12 points seems way too much. Give me the Jets plus 12. It's the Zach attack, baby. Zach attack is back.
All right, give me Miami. Screw it.
Oh, you wanted the Jets.
I did.
Haha, okay. I like it.
All
Now, this
right.
line, I just cannot understand this line.
Bears at Browns. Browns favored by 3.5. You know what?
No, come on, dude. No.
You
There is
know-
no way that you take what I think you're taking.
Give me the Bears.
Oh, come on, dude. It's Cleveland easily minus 3.5. The
Give me the
Cleveland
Bears.
defense might score enough points
To
to
cover
win
the.
this game. Yeah, to
I
cover the
understand
spread and
this.
win the game.
I understand this.
Oh my god. Yeah, give me Cleveland minus 3.5. Next up, it's the New York Giants at the New Orleans Saints. The over under is 36.5. I have no clue how many games we have under 40 points because I think it's one, two, three, one, two, three, there's four, there's five, there's six, 7 games out of the eight. Wait, is it eight? No, there's more. There's 16. Yeah, there's 16 games. 7 of those games are currently under 40 points.
Uh-huh.
Just lovely. 36.5 is the over under here. And the Saints are 6 point favorites in a line that I just cannot understand. Give me the Giants plus 6. This is way too many points for a Saints team who produced, I don't know, how many yards of offense did they produce? Did they even break like 100 yards passing? Because at a point, Carr had less passing yards than Bryce Young, who was having a pretty mediocre day. Yeah, Bryce Young wins with 137 yards passing. Derek Carr ends with 119. So yeah, give me the New York Giants.
You know what? Give me the Saints.
You have two obsessions in life. You have the Chargers, and you have the Saints. It's just the two teams that you can't get away from.
Yeah.
It's just
Well, I'll just let them keep
if you
hurting
need
me.
help, Angelo. If you need help, Angelo, I'm here.
All right. This next one, there isn't an obvious bad answer. The Tampa Bay Bucks at Green Bay Packers. Green Bay Packers favored by 3.5. Give me the Bucks. Give me the Bucks.
Bay plus 3.5.
Yeah.
That game had me wondering as well. But in the end, I think the line goes up tonight after the Packers lay a pretty hefty beating on the Giants.
Yeah,
So give me the Packers minus 3.5.
that's fair. I don't think there's a bad call on this one. This could go either way, I think.
Yeah. This seems pretty flip. I just think that the Bucks are probably a team that is only good facing the pretty terrible NFC South teams.
Yeah, that's fair.
Next up. Now this is an interesting line because this is probably a Davis Mills line. There's no way that this is a CJ Stroud line, but it's the Houston Texans at the Tennessee Titans. The over under is 37.5, and the Titans are 2 point favorites. Now, I don't think there's any chance that Stroud plays after the hit that he took,
Yep.
But if there was any chance, now this would be a killer line. +2. Honestly, when I don't understand the line, I guess it's just better to go with it in this scenario. 2 points, man. Do I really think that Tennessee can beat Houston? Yes. Yeah, give me Tennessee -2, and I'm just hoping that Derrick Henry does what he does usually versus the Texans. Just it's December Henry, baby.
I'm gonna agree with you. Give me the Titans.
Ooh, the rare Angelo picks the same team as Alex.
Yep.
All right. Then
Next
it's you.
next up is the San Francisco 49ers favored by 13 and a half points in Arizona. You know what? You know what? Give me Arizona. Give me Arizona. This
Okay.
is normally where I'd stick out my chest and say the Cardinals are about to get sacrificed, but you know what? This is the cursed week. Give me Arizona.
You don't think that the Cardinals get sacrificed? Hmm. And you know what?
What?
I don't think they get sacrificed either. Give me Arizona +13.5.
Interesting. Hmm.
Purely because this is a divisional matchup. I think this is closer. Cardinals out of a bye, 49ers out of a pretty, guess it wasn't really that tough, but it was emotional. Seahawks game. So back to back divisional matchups. I think the Niners like a bit here. Probably just win by a touchdown. So yeah, I like the 13.5 here as well. Next up, it's the Washington Commanders at the Los Angeles Rams. Over under is 45.5. And give me the Commanders +6.5. Out of a bye as well. Just Howell goes out there and swings it.
You know what? Give me the Rams.
Okay. Rams to continue exploring the very weak Commanders secondary.
All right. Next up, Dallas Cowboys at Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are favored by a point and a half.
And you know that prior to the game start, because I did check the lines prior to Sunday Night Football, the Bills were 2.5 point favorites.
The Cowboys. Give
I
me.
think this is the game in which you finally start to pay some respect to the Buffalo Bills. Give me the Buffalo
Oh,
Bills -1.5.
guy
I think Buffalo runs the table right now.
runs the table.
Yeah, they win out.
Runs the table, huh?
Yes, because it's the Cowboys this week, it's the Chargers the week after, then they get the Patriots, and they finish out at Miami. And I think they win every single one of those games.
Okay.
They are by most advanced metrics, the Bills are the best team in the NFL.
Okay.
So let's see how my bold take looks in a few weeks. Then it's Sunday Night Football. It's the Baltimore Ravens at the Jacksonville
Oh
Jaguars.
no.
Over under is 43.5. And the Baltimore Ravens are 3.5 point favorites. So that seems like a pretty straightforward pick to me. Give me the Ravens -3.5 versus the wobbles, Trevor Lawrence, and the frauds that are the Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know what? Give me,
Agree with me, Angelo.
huh?
Agree with me, Angelo.
Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars.
No. You went with the frauds again. Oh no, you went with the frauds the first time. Do you go with the frauds again on Monday Night Football?
Oh, is it me?
Oh yeah,
Is this?
that was the cue.
Oh, my bad, my bad. See, I done messed that up. Philadelphia Eagles, 3.5 point favorites at Seattle Seahawks. Give me the Eagles.
Angelo
What?
is taking the two frauds
What?
in the league.
What? What?
Give me the Seattle Seahawks plus 3.5 in the pick that I have the least confidence in. Let's go.
This guy.
Especially when it might be True Lock starting again. And that True Lock experience is not good whatsoever.
Alex, according to his own reactions, is going to start making up some ground on these picks.
I'm actually pretty confident this week.
You're-
I'm not gonna lie. It's probably gonna go tits up, but I mean, we're here for it.
We're here.
You pick the three worst teams, ATS. Like,
Yes, I did.
you pick you pick the only three teams who have less than 4 wins ATS.
Yes, I did.
So if I don't get some ground up this week, I'm not sure what to do.
Yes.
Just yes.
What do you
To
got?
be frank, I did pick the other three. So out of the top six, you picked three, I picked three. Pretty even. Out of the bottom six, I guess.
This is going to be an interesting
Oh,
week of football.
yeah. No more buys. So now we get 16 games of football.
Every week until the end.
Every week until the
You
end.
got a lot of ground to
This
make
is
up to.
yes, I do. And I believe there are only two teams eliminated from the playoff contention. Or is it four? Um Teams, because I know for sure that the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers were eliminated. I'm not sure if the Cardinals were, but I'm pretty sure they were. Uh, uh, um, yeah, the Cardinals haven't been eliminated yet. So I believe it's just the Panthers and the Patriots. Yeah, just those two so far.
So far.
So far. Yeah, the Cardinals, the Titans are the two teams coming up that can be eliminated. Okay.
Feeling pretty good.
Anything else you want to have up?
No, I feel like my energy's been way down, but that's also because I'm still kind of sick. I'm kind of
You're
icky.
sick. Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense. Makes sense.
That's,
Maybe you're better for the for the Thursday episode.
we'll see.
Because I have something to say in that episode for sure.
Oh my
Will it be good? Will it be bad? I'm not sure
God.
for now. Maybe it's partially good. Maybe it's partially bad.
This guy.
We will see how Monday night goes. But yeah, as Angelo usually says, there's a nice little donate button right there for you guys to click. If you're listening on the podcast app, if you're listening on Spotify, just leave us a 5-star review. Just turn on the auto download. That really helps the show as well. Leave us a like as well. If you're listening on the YouTube, please leave a subscribe, turn notifications on, leave a like, leave a comment as well. And as always, guys, see you Thursday. And Angelo is gonna get better until then, I hope.
Yeah, me too.
Have a nice one. Have a
Have a
nice one,
nice one,
guys.
guys.